It's the Rundown. It's brought to you by Simply Safe. Simply Safe is the best way to keep your family and your belongings safe. And the easiest way, because there's no contract, there's no hidden fees, there's none of that gotcha. You can sign up right now. They deliver it to you, and you can start 24/7 monitoring of your family and your house and all your belongings immediately. No contract, no hidden fees, no wires, no drilling. You don't have to know how to set up the electronic, yada, yada. They make it easy to order and easy to set up, and it's intuitive. They know, like, if it's a burglar versus if you just, like, break a window by accident. They have the police, they have the fire department on call. Everybody is going to be safe and sound. Go to simplysafe.com, S-I-M-P-L-I, safe.com/rundown for free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. Trilly Whiskers is here.
I'm here.
Whiskey Trills.
I think this is my first time sitting in this seat.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know.
It's weird over there. Ebony referred to us as a reverse Oreo.
Yep.
So we're kind of like
that was something that happened.
We're off to a good start.
Yeah. Coming in hot. Let's go. Is there any? What would be a reverse Oreo?
What do you mean? That's their thing.
But you know, like
Lou gets them all the time. It fucking pisses me off.
Wait, they have them?
Yeah.
With the golden, because usually the golden is yellow, white on the inside.
Yeah,
there's no chocolate on the inside.
Vienna fingers and shit like that. Fuck out of here.
You don't like white on white.
No.
Same.
You need a little
It's
color.
disgusting. Yes.
But I don't think there is anything that's white on the outside and chocolate on the inside, right?
I'm gonna say I'm sure.
They have like apple pie Oreos. I'm sure
There's
they've
like
thought
horchata
of being
Oreos.
like,
I'm sure
chocolate
they
in there.
flipped
Oh
it
yeah, but
once.
you know what I'm saying? Like when it's like an Asian person who's white on the inside, they call them a Twinkie. And coconuts are brown with white on the inside, you know? But there's no white with brown on the inside. Snack.
Consider.
The new Krispy Kreme donuts.
Okay.
They
We're a
have
new
stuffed
Krispy
donuts
Kreme
now.
donut here on the show.
Darren Ravel was tweeting about it yesterday. I saw it.
We got this Little League fight to start things off, which is intense.
What is happening? What is happening? Cannot happen. This cannot happen. This cannot happen. Oh my God. Father, in Jesus' name. In Jesus' name, right now, Jesus. Satan, in the name of Jesus. Father, right now.
I mean, we've seen these kind of fights before, but I've never, I mean, that
What
one guy
started
gets,
it? I just saw people slugging.
I'm sure it's a fucking umpire.
It was
blue
Wild
call.
pitch or something?
umpire made a
umpire
bad
blue
call. The umpire was 13 years old.
Okay.
Oh my God.
The
These are ridiculous no matter what if you're fighting at your children's event, but over a 13-year-old's call,
This almost happened to me once. I almost caused one of these.
you were the umpire.
Yeah, I was first base ump. I didn't even know you needed those. in
Did
Little
you
League,
blow the
but
call?
I was like, yeah, I didn't even
blew
blow
the
the
call,
call.
yeah.
I just didn't even offer a call. It was.
Well,
It
honestly,
was.
I'd try to throw punches too. You fucking can't even make the call.
Dude, well, it was so like I didn't even know like we always kind of like hang around by the park as kids, and there were an all-star center fielder, no big deal. And one time they were like, hey, can you come on first base? I was like, sure. And then I remember very vividly. I was in a Superman T-shirt and red shorts. I was young enough. I'm wearing Superman T-shirts, and so I'm umping first base for a league above me.
I was gonna say, how old are the kids you're
They were
umping?
like, it was like I was Little League. They were pony, probably something like that.
Okay, that's strike one.
And I was just sitting at first base at the clicker, and it was fly out to right, and they're like, did the kid at second tag?
Oh, all right.
was like-
I thought you meant like gotta play it first.
I
You
was
were
like,
I didn't
yeah,
offer a
yeah,
call.
yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
offer a
Fucking
call.
tag?
Oh, that's crazy.
I don't know, man.
That's crazy.
And they're like, you aren't even watching? No. Like, I looked at the line, I was like, no, I have no idea. They're like, you gotta make a call. I'm like, well, I didn't watch it, so I'm not making a fucking call here. People, parents in the stands were yelling at me, like, make a call.
Did you eventually
Like,
make a call?
I
you
never
just
did.
refused.
No, they went
will
to
not
my
You
make a
should have
call?
just been like,
You're
out.
My
What
buddy,
people wanted to hear? Read the room.
I had my buddy playing third base, third base
third
ump,
base.
and eventually he just kind of stepped in and was like, he's out. And then that got people
Rest
mad
of the
again.
That- see,
at
see,
least
if
then
you're
you
trying
cut
to
down
go
your
under the
enemies in
radar,
half. Only
Fair.
half the people are mad.
if you're
at you.
trying to like just be done with it, just say he tagged up. Calling someone out on that is gonna cause the problem.
Yeah.
You know, you should just be like, yeah, no, it was good.
I mean, unless you're just willing to lean all the way into it. Like,
yeah, wind it up.
Yeah.
It was-
But I
that-
mean,
it's crazy how often this happens.
yeah,
Parents
but
are the
I've
same.
never seen them. Like I've seen the scuffles happen. I mean, that one guy gets like donkey punched in the back
Oh,
of the
he's on the
head,
ground,
and
like, up
someone else
against the fence.
uppercuts him.
Yeah.
I mean, that was brutal. People should be like in jail for that.
No, that's definitely.
I'm sure
at least
there is.
Assault, right?
I think it was a Twitter, police account's Twitter that like tweeted
All
the
right,
video.
good,
So
yeah.
they were like, probably
You know
like,
what
look at all
I've
the people
been-
we arrested yesterday.
I've been thinking, like, I used to always be like, you're a piece of trash if you're like doing this. But also maybe now I'm kind of thinking about doing it.
Why?
Starting to fight.
Just being like the fucking lunatic in the stands
No.
is so absurd.
No.
It's so ridiculous.
It's funny, as a kid, I was always like, because like hockey games and stuff like that, there's always like the crazy dads.
Yeah.
And my dad was not one of them. And I was
Right.
like, I wish he was like as a kid, you think of them as like the cool group.
Yeah,
Because they're
yeah,
like
yeah.
entertaining you.
Right.
And like they're like,
It's like,
laying,
you know,
jumping over the
you
boards,
want
like
your
yelling
dad
at
in
them.
the
Yeah.
back
And
corner.
like,
just
my dad
fucking-
was always
yelling
just
for you,
top
yeah.
corner reading the paper.
Yeah.
And like now, like I'm like, thank God that was my dad.
Yeah.
Just support. I support you either way, John. I just read the news first.
We got porn stars. They're picketing. Porn stars are protesting outside of Instagram headquarters because their accounts keep getting deleted anytime they're posting naked shit or sexual stuff.
I think Instagram's got it out for porn stars. Because I see porn stars complaining all the time, like about their accounts
Like
getting taken
accounts
that's
down.
the
didn't take
rule.
it down. Yeah.
But like,
Their
but I
rule
don't
is,
think
like-
they're posting nudes. Like,
I feel like they know exactly what they can post, and they're still being taken
yeah,
down.
that's what I think
so,
too.
yeah.
I think they got a point. I think they're being targeted because porn stars know like
They know the rules.
It's
they know
funny
the value of an account and not to cross the line to lose it.
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
because of social media, like the phrase and the term Instagram or the name Instagram. It's like funny to laugh at, but like these are major revenue streams.
Oh, yeah.
So losing
100%.
it is a
huge
huge issue.
deal.
Yeah.
It's a
And
huge
also, by the
problem.
way, like if you're a platform, if you're Instagram, you want porn stars.
Right.
Like you want, like that's going to generate a lot of users and a lot of.
Do you think it matters that much? Because like I don't follow them, but I'll go seek them out sometimes.
But a lot of people
So-
do,
I
dude.
would say a lot. Like,
a
I
lot
feel
of
like they
people
do
do.
like their premium channels, all that through there.
I actually would make the argument that porn, of all things, will get new users. Because there are creeps who are like, I will sign up for Adriana
For that.
Chechik.
Yeah.
Like
agree.
not porn moves the needle more than like anything.
It always
like
has.
like in history, like they said that porn is usually the like the stimulus for new technology. Like porn had a lot to do with the VCR. Porn had a lot to do with internet because people always want to watch fucking.
Yeah.
So like,
Really?
So you
like,
want to take those
like we
people
need-
off your platform?
Right.
That's insane.
That is where I guess I first started seeing like VR stuff was like porn.
porn. They're literally.
Which is
I've read
bullshit, by the
a
way. If
case
you don't
study
have
on
the
this.
VR goggles, the video is terrible.
Yeah, it's just like
I-
two
I-
sides.
It's
like
two
looking
sides,
at
it's
it.
crazy.
don't
I
like
haven't
it.
done the goggles yet. Even with the goggles, it's bad.
Oh no!
Oh,
I've
my
seen
God.
like they'll have
When
like
you
the
do,
videos
like, the-
and like I know it before I click. I'm like I know this is gonna suck, but the headline's great. I know the person in it. Like I want to check it out, and it opens again like got
me again.
I got to Instagram shutting them down. You got to support them by any means. Yeah.
Any means necessary.
It's-
So,
but, like,
I do think they have a great, but I also, and I'm baffled that Zuckerberg's out here drawing the line. Like, I mean, Twitter
Yeah, he
fucking
doesn't-
lets it
he
cook,
doesn't
right?
draw a lot of
Twitter
lines.
is no, that's
It's very-
such a strange spot to draw.
Twitter's also like in the worst spot of them all. They need all the
Oh,
help.
hell.
But still,
I
that's
saw
not the
something
line
the
I
other
draw
day.
if I'm Instagram. I draw a different line.
I saw. You know how those things get popular about like what companies were the most popular as like the years go by and like the bars are
Oh, yeah.
ever shifting.
Yep.
Yo, Twitter is really just everyone in this room yelling at each other and that's it.
That's it.
That's
Twitter
it.
means nothing
But
outside
it's so
of what people know on
crazy
Twitter.
Crazy.
because I still find it to be fascinating that we can just turn it on and you can hear athletes and entertainers and watch people have
You
meltdowns.
can't get news quicker
and
than Twitter.
You can't get it quicker,
yeah.
and you can't get more interesting, direct, like insight into these people. I cannot
nobody
believe
cares.
Twitter is a failure.
It's like I think it has 300 million users.
It's like
It's
trash.
it's number
That's a
10.
drop in the bucket.
It's,
Bro.
Yeah.
it's
Facebook's got to
It's
have
four-
100
it's-
times that.
I
Yeah.
thi- I think it said 4.1 billion, which it can't be that.
It's like
it
half the
can't
world's
be.
population. I don't know.
I
At
don't
this
know,
point,
man. Like, because you need it to register for so much
Yeah.
stuff now.
Right,
like, you
right,
could just
right,
like,
right.
oh,
it
just
might not
give
be
us your
active,
Facebook.
but they
So
probably
I-
have 4
yeah.
billion signups.
I
It
believe
was
that.
Twitter was in 10th place on this list, which was the last place they showed, and it was losing to sites that I'd never even heard of or didn't know still existed, like
Yeah.
Google Plus, which I guess is if you have a Gmail, you have a Google Plus.
Right.
But there was like
I
there's
know
Weibo,
that, but
which I
I
guess that's a
still
Chinese
feel
one, I
like
think.
when we report on like a controversy, it's like it's usually stemming from Twitter.
Yeah, but that's just easy clicks.
But I think that's just within
It's
our
just like-
bubble, though.
Is it? But
That's what I'm starting to wonder.
I guess I mean maybe I just think maybe the bubble is. I used to think the bubble was super small, and then I don't get it. It to me it's like, you know, you still will hear like articles about like what an athlete said on Twitter by
Right.
accident, you know, and it's like how does that not translate to everybody else? How are people not like I want to get on here because I want to see it firsthand.
I'm thinking 20 years is gonna be fascinating. How Twitter's like the best idea ever that just failed.
It really is.
Just went under.
Forget 20
Like,
years. I
and-
think it currently is. It's like
Yeah.
Twitter is just like the internet to me. It's just like here is a web of people all connected that can talk in real time, from the dirt poor guy to Kim
I Twitter
Kardashian
search stuff
to
before I Google stuff now.
Absolutely.
I'll search it on Twitter, yeah. and then I'll-
100%.
So,
Like
and
you
it's
get the
failing.
most like immediate like user generated content. You
Remember
get,
that when there was the earthquake up here, and there was a study that I think it went from New York to DC to New York or something like that, and it was like people in New York found out the earthquake was coming, and it comes very fast.
Right, yeah.
But
Oh,
it
yeah.
was
They
like,
still knew it was
like
coming.
you
Right.
couldn't prepare anything like that.
No,
But it was like
but-
you knew 2 seconds before it hit
Right.
that
It
like
It was about
the earthquake was
yeah,
coming.
that's insane.
Put us in charge of Twitter.
I mean, I don't know what I'd do any better.
I don't know.
We couldn't make it work.
I just
I
walk around the
honestly-
street being like, "It's awesome, everybody! How do you not use this?"
Don't you want to know what everybody thinks at all times?
Yeah,
How is
that's the
this
pitch. The other day I saw some girl on Twitter. She was fucking herself with a fish, a fucking fish. It was the tail was flopping. She was huge, and she was blasting away. Come on!
Why don't
what
know
don't you want
that's
about
the
that?
sell?
Why doesn't
But it was
Instagram
funny 'cause,
want
you know,
that on there?
the guy who put it on my timeline, it was the classic, like, if I got to see it, then you got to see it. And that's Twitter. It's the Wild West, man. You never know what you're gonna fucking see or
I think
hear.
that might be exactly like you're not gonna see that on Instagram. You're not gonna.
You're
actually
goddamn
see,
right,
yeah.
dude. We're funny, and you might see someone fucking a fish. Twitter,
polite.
free advertising
Polite,
for you. There you
yeah.
go. Anyway, free the porn stars. The U.S. women's national basketball team is out here massacring the entire planet. There was
love
another
it.
one this morning. Another
love
game.
it.
So yesterday they won 114-19 against El Salvador. This morning, I don't know who it was or what the score was, but they won by like 90 points again. It's like
Did they
it's like
really?
our amateur.
Yeah, it was like 120 to 40 or something, like something close. Like
It's like
they're,
our,
I love it.
It's our
I love when we
amateur
just
underage
run the
team.
fuck over
Oh, me
every
too.
other country.
And I just love that we're just sending our girls out there, and they're like a foot taller than all these other chicks.
It's not even
and we're
yeah,
just-
like,
The
WNBA is
one-
going on now, so it's not even the pros. Like these are the amateurs that are just killing countries.
It wasn't even the height that was like that stuck out to me. The height difference when they were both in the tunnel. El Salvador didn't have uniforms.
Yeah.
Like
What were
it
they
was
wearing?
like they were wearing like they had uniforms, but it was like they were in different shorts. Like some had like
Yeah.
they had like
Yikes.
some had like decals, not decals, but like artwork down the side. Some were just
They're
plain
very
white
crudely
shorts.
made.
It's like
Yeah,
it's like
it's-
District 5. It's like Mighty Ducks before they became the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah,
They were
if
just
you're
wearing like
if
whatever
you're
they had
wearing
laying
that
around.
to show up to play the United States of America women's national basketball team, just go home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Just
don't even
there's
bother.
no point.
I can't imagine there's a bigger discrepancy in anything than women's basketball in like America to the rest of the world.
It's got to be. Because like
Like,
there's
just
so
the
many
other- there's-
foreign like Spain does a lot of NBA players, stuff like that. I don't know who the second
You can't. Yeah.
biggest WNBA import.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And like it's still women's sports. There's obviously still like more of a struggle to like blow up and organize. And it's just like we do it here in America and no one else does it.
I'll say,
Like
if
El
they keep
Salvador,
blowing
there's
people
like
out, I'll watch.
yeah, I know.
they would start
If
beating
I
people
can
by
catch a
80
200
points,
point game, if they can put up 200 for me,
I'm in
I'd
there.
watch.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I watched the highlights of it.
It's bad.
At some point, I was like, all right, guys, like
have a heart.
you guys are
It was bad, meaning like they ran up the score too much.
like a minute left in the fourth quarter
Chucking
and they're
threes.
fucking chucking threes. I'm like, they're 15.
No mercy. But they're 15 too.
It was like, yeah.
They're out
one
here
thing-
going
but,
for
like,
their
when
glory.
when you were a kid, like sometimes didn't you know like, all right, this is like I'd like even just like fighting with my brother, I'd be like, dude, stop, and I'd like hit him again and be like, stop
See, but the
trying.
thing- I feel like by
get
then
away.
they've got their like 12th person in. They're just still that much better
Yeah,
than
yeah,
the other
yeah.
teams.
Oh, no
like,
doubt.
starting
I don't
lineup.
think
that
it's starting.
person
Yeah.
chucking up that three
Right.
is like that's her garbage time. So she's
Yeah,
got to
she's
make
like,
it
I gotta get
count.
my numbers.
It just happens to be that I'm much better than even your best player because I'm not from like a third
And,
world
and
country.
they were wide open threes.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, it was like watching the Warriors where it's just like, every once in a while they have that clip go viral on Twitter of like
Yeah.
a Warriors passing sequence.
Yeah.
And it was like that every time.
Every
Ding,
single
ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding. Oh, no one's like on this
ball's
side
not
of the
hitting the
court
floor,
anymore.
yeah.
And they probably found like 12 girls total in El Salvador that can that we even want to play basketball.
Right, that's what I mean.
You're now our national team.
All of
Yeah.
like there is no longer an El Salvadorian national basketball team
Right,
because
it's
they're
all-
just like
yeah.
they're like
Contracted?
Fuck this.
Yeah.
Go back to soccer.
Just dissolved.
Like,
Yeah.
you convince
Yeah.
like they see this as a vacation.
Right.
Right. Because I'm sure they're, I'm
This
sure
is
they're
like
not playing in El
training
Salvador.
for
Yeah.
soccer. This is like
Right?
their off season.
It's like, hey, if you girls want to come play on this team,
Get some practice.
we'll go check out Korea, wherever this
Wherever they're
tournament
playing,
is.
yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I could use a vacation to Korea. I'll go check it out.
Absolutely.
And then like, they just left these jerseys in the locker room afterwards. Like, I don't
It's
need
like
anything
college
to do
football
with
where
this.
like has to play Alabama, their homecoming game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're gonna lose by 80, but you get like 200
You get the
grand.
grind. Yeah,
so
yeah, you get the
You
shine.
get the experience. So
Tough day for Skip Bayless, who I think is one of the all-time greats. I know he's a troll, but he's a professional troll. He knows it,
don't care
and he
for
does
him.
it to the best. I think Stephen A. Smith is the best in the game.
Stephen A. Smith.
But I
Steve,
think
iconic.
that Skip is a less likable version of Stephen A. Smith. But if you respect the hustle and the game and the money, he is second to none, maybe second to Stephen, and that's it.
Speaking of
But
these
this,
two, can I interject real quick about? I don't even want to like bring him up with these two because he's nowhere near. But Nick Wright, he's growing out his hair right now, and it is
not good.
It is as bad as it can get. Like it is.
I haven't seen.
I gotta pull up this
no.
video
But
for
that
you.
but that's because when you are growing out your hair and you're in that in between.
No. But it's just like it's not like it's not like he's getting it long. It's just he's getting it to a normal length, and I mean it is just.
I don't think I've ever seen him like with any
I mean, look
kind of
at
hair,
this. Is just
so.
the opening shot. We could,
Like I wouldn't have guessed that was Nick Wright.
oh wow.
I don't know if they show him up close.
They'll go up close, yeah.
I don't think it's that bad.
I would not have guessed that was Nick Wright.
Oh, that's not great.
It's
Yeah.
really, really
It looks like
bad.
two different types of hair.
It does. It looks like he had a bowl cut and he's growing it out.
Yeah.
Right?
So
There's like just
bad.
different levels to it.
Well, I respect it.
I mean, like, look at just the fucking front. He looks like a monk.
It had the it's got waves in it. It's like jagged.
It's detestable. It's
Anyway, with Skip, this is where Skip, you fly too close to the sun when you're trying to troll too hard. Sports
Talk Barry.
Sports Talk
Barry.
Barry McCockiner, he tweeted that the Chris Paul James Harden feud stemmed from an incident where Chris Paul told James Harden that he has man boobs and that James Harden started crying and needed to sit a couple plays out. And Skip took this
He
as
ate the
real.
trash, man.
And he ate I mean, dude, he didn't eat the trash. He fucking sat down at Thanksgiving and
Tied
ate
a
trash.
handkerchief around his neck.
Yes, he had the whole bird in front of him. It was just his meal. All the trash. That is a tough one to come back from. I've gotten got by Barry on like a retweet or just like a
Does
oh
he do-
shit.
does
But
he
to
do
go
the,
on your TV show and say it? Did he do it on the air or did he
Yeah,
do
I
it?
know.
No, it was on air, yeah.
Does Barry do like the change? Does he do the
Yeah.
Abby change and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he does. Okay, I've never
does.
seen him do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, he intentionally tries to do it, and
This is why.
but here's the
Like-
thing. Yeah, this is why.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'll say in defense of Skip is that the NBA and the times that Barry does do this are like him saying like that James Harden started crying and sat plays out too much. Saying that like Chris Paul was like talking shit about James Harden
I
in
don't even
practice,
think
like that's
that.
entirely believable.
As an outside observer of NBA Twitter, I don't think this is too outside. Like from what I
Right.
hear from the NBA, like this is possible.
Yes. So
this isn't crazy.
So
to
when,
me.
when
I think that's why Skip was like,
Right.
I could buy that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sports Talk Barry got me on John Wall, something that John Wall said. It was the Dwight Howard transvestite hooker thing.
Yeah.
And it was like John Wall like made comments about him in the shower about like Dwight Howard's dick or something like that. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know. Because the real story was that
like-
James
you're like,
Harden was that he was
maybe?
fucking
Yeah,
a hooker,
right,
a
yeah.
transvestite hooker. So like this is all believable to me. Now, knowing that it was man boobs and saying that James Harden started crying, you should probably pick up on it. But in defense of Skip, like anything is possible in the NBA offseason. So
If I was just watching Skip deliver, and I guess that speaks to who the source is, which is more believable usually, I would be like, yeah, that makes sense.
I'd
Yeah.
buy that.
That would be 100%.
Yeah,
if I saw it
if it
on
was
Twitter,
on TV,
maybe I'd give it another look.
Yeah.
But if Skip said it, I was like, yep, that happened. For
Yeah.
sure.
did they do you know if they like stopped it in real time or anything, or they just let it run in the
I think
air
they were just
anyway?
like,
yeah, okay, yeah.
okay, yeah.
That's a tough one.
It's got to be exhausting covering. That's why mixtape's
Yeah.
3 hours long every day.
We're trying. Like, shit just keeps happening. Like, what we supposed
Dude,
to
I
do?
mean, like in my opinion, mixtape needs to ramp it up now. The season's over. All right, mix time. Your time to shine. You should do
6
like
hours?
you should do
Okay.
like 5 episodes a week now. It's just like, well, we got the draft and all this drama coming up, free agency. That's when the NBA is truly.
like 35 hours of runtime every week. Say less.
Last topic here. Shout out to Frank Fleming. Frank the Tank, his episode of Big Brain is out right now. Big Brain is our Shark Tank-esque talent search business show. The new episode today features Frank asking for money to revamp Sports Encyclopedia, which is Frank's blog, which I honestly think you can make the argument that it is the oldest and longest running blog in existence. It was pre 9/11.
That's why he needs a little upkeep money.
And so, in Frank's mind, a little upkeep money was $100,000.
How much do you need to get that to the next level?
At least $100,000 to make
You need $100,000?
at least.
Is that a wild guess, Frank?
Just a wild guess.
So what are you asking for?
Sounded that way.
So what's the ask? Just get to the ask, just so. I mean, 'cause-
Partnership.
At least.
At least.
I love it.
And then he doubles down on it. Dave says, Frank, you need $100,000? And he goes, at least.
I love it.
Snake
He
it till you
crunched the
fucking make
numbers.
it. Ask shoot
Yeah.
for the moon. He even says at one point, I had to throw my Hail Mary pass.
We'll have to consider it. I don't think it's the right.
Well, I had to throw a Hail Mary pass, so.
That's why you throw it.
If you ask for 100, guess what? You walk out with 10. You got 10 grand out of it. If he asks for 5, he's not walking out with 10. If he asks for 100,
He playing chess, man. Russ was playing checkers.
I mean, this is Frank's thing because before the show started, you were telling a story that I'd never heard before.
Yeah, Frank
That you
is
bought Frank a Roomba.
Frank is a big-time panhandler. He likes to ask for things on the internet. Bear in mind, folks, he has a full-time job, and he also does get side money from Barstool Sports. So he kind of has 2 revenue streams, but everybody seems to think that Frank needs more money. One time, Frank was tweeting about his apartment, and he said he couldn't afford a Roomba, one of those electronic smart vacuums, and that he was unable to vacuum himself. I don't know. He's a bigger guy. Maybe he physically couldn't vacuum.
I feel like Frank can vacuum.
Probably.
I think he just didn't want to.
Probably, yes.
I think if you put a gun to Frank's head and you said either vacuum or die, I bet Frank could vacuum.
I bet I could get an idiot to buy me a vacuum.
And so I'm just thinking of Frank Fleming in his apartment. And I'm picturing him, you see his apartment, he does his vlogs, and I'm just picturing him eating his shirt, and the Mets lose, and he's just stuck in like a pit of filth. I had an attack of conscience, and I tweeted like publicly, so I couldn't even backtrack it. I said, Frank, I'll buy you a Roomba. I got it. I thought Roombas were about $150, $200.
I would guess 2.
Turns out Roombas range anywhere from like $600 to $800.
Jesus Christ.
Like, first of all, shout out to the Roomba industry. Like, you guys are scamming the
dominating.
world. $800 or a fucking. So I end up dropping. I think it's been like $400. Luckily, a stoolie who worked at Best Buy like hooked me up. He was like, "I got you on like a employee discount," because I couldn't backtrack at that point. And you know what?
I would.
And
You
know what?
can. I would
never-
backtrack at that point.
Yeah?
I'd be like,
Oh,
dude,
come
I
on.
didn't know they were $600. I'm not.
You'd be like, I'll give you
I'm not
something
buying
on it.
I'm not
know
buying
what?
anyone.
I
I don't
don't-
buy
I
my
don't
best
even-
friends a $600 wedding present. I'm not getting Frank a fucking $600 vacuum. That
But you know
Maybe
what
you're a
it's
bad
like?
friend. You ever think about that?
It's like when you step
I mean,
up
I
to the
know
register,
that,
though.
for sure.
It's
That's
like Dave
undoubtedly.
with the purple starfish. When you get to the register and they say like you don't want to put it back because it's too expensive. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
and
was
I'm very
pot
much
committed.
like that. When I get to a register, I'm buying it. When I tweet something, if I find out it's 3 times what I thought it was going to be,
You know
No
what?
dice.
no.
I don't even think I gotta thank you.
What's the highest you would have went for it before? Like if it was $250, would you did it?
I was thinking it was like 150. I've never been impressed by a room. I haven't seen many, but I'm like, there's no way it's even cleaning.
Yeah, I agree.
But the I wouldn't find myself in this situation because I would never tell Frank I'd get a Roomba.
Frank got
But
a
I
brand
guess
new
You know,
appliances
Frank
and everything.
sometimes evokes, this feeling of like, he's always presenting himself in a bad light.
He
I felt
playing
bad.
y'all like a fiddle, man.
He did,
Frank,
yeah, I mean,
Frank got
Chess-
a Benz in the
Chess-
driveway, new Frigidaire, everything. He
Chess
living
doesn't
life.
even begin to describe it, man. He's doing that 3D chess, and I'm just sitting here playing fucking Chinese checkers. It's terrible, dude. But shout out to Frank, 10 grand in the bank, so hopefully you use that to revamp Sports Encyclopedia for all the 8-year-olds out there. He said he wants to be the premier site for the 8-year-olds looking for sports content.
Get him young, you get him.
Get him forever.
Frank had the vision, man.
He really did, dude. So it is draft week. That's why you're up here, right?
Yep.
Mixtape will have their annual show covering everything. Kind of
20 p.m.
kind of relatively uneventful in the sense that I feel like we know 1, 2, and 3 like locked up.
I thought
Unless-
Freeze.
I mean,
Didn't what's his name? The Vanderbilt kid isn't New York doing like a last minute workout with him?
are
now?
they? I mean,
New Orleans. I'm sure they are,
I
but
guess it's
yeah.
entirely possible with the Knicks to fuck something up. But the big news today was they said no to Chris Paul, which is
I'm amazed.
huge. The Rockets call him up because they know this is what you do. When you got a veteran with a bad contract to dump, you call up James Dolan because he sees that name, he sees ticket sales, and he'll take him on. And we said no to Chris Paul's contract.
What do you know what
which
the
is
offer
huge.
was?
It was basically like for nothing. Like you
Like,
can have him, you just gotta
like
take
we
the
just
money.
want
I would
off, we
figure
just
they-
want off our.
But they
cap
wouldn't even
space.
put picks with him.
I
So-
think it
was
was
just
literally.
I feel like you got to put picks
nothing.
with Chris Paul now.
I think that's probably what the Knicks asked for. I imagine the
Yeah.
Rockets were like, no. And they were like,
Yeah,
okay,
because
fuck
honestly,
you. Like,
that's something I would do. I think the Knicks really should look into taking on like some bad contracts, more like
1
ideally
year,
expiring
yeah,
contracts.
yeah.
But if you could grab like a few picks, like first-round picks, when this money is basically like the Knicks' money that they have is not going to go to who they want it to go to. They're not going to be able to sign anybody. If you can start stockpiling picks for the future, I would consider that then. But to just take on Chris Paul is just him is fucking crazy, and it's a huge step in the right direction that we said no, which is crazy to think.
I still can't
but I
believe
mean,
it.
they've done that with everybody.
Yeah.
Penny Hardaway, Steve Francis, like the names don't stop of guys like in that exact spot that Chris Paul is in. Plus, he's telling his teammates they have man boobs and making them cry. You can't have that.
Nah, I don't want that in my locker
You
room.
can't have it. Anything else? I mean, anything you're expecting on draft night? Anything that?
I mean, what the Pelicans do with 4. Like, I think it
Yeah.
could be trade to like a relatively big name might be on the move draft night. But outside, like you said, 1, 2, 3, we know. And it's not a, I guess, big name player draft outside like Zion, the top guys. So
What would
I
you
hope
do?
we get
Like
some trades.
theoretically, hypothetically, what do you think if they wanted to trade the 1 and the 4? What do you think you could get for that? So you're getting Zion plus the 4 pick, basically. I feel like you could like nab almost whoever you want.
I'm trying to think of like the names you couldn't. Like I feel
Yeah,
like
right?
you probably couldn't get like Giannis,
And I like
Embiid. Like I feel like 1 for 4 for like Simmons, like Ben Simmons. I think that's where it starts. Like all-star talent. That's how good Zion
I
is.
feel like it would
probably
be
gonna
like I would say like no for Giannis and Kawhi and like that's it.
What was
Otherwise, I'd let it rock.
Jamal Murray said, it was yesterday, I think, where it was, you know Zion will sell ticket sales, but R.J. Barrett's the better player, which I think isn't a crazy take. I think a lot of people think that Zion's a bigger name, but R.J.'s a more complete
I've
player.
never seen OJ Barrett. I don't watch
But-
much, but I've never seen him play that well.
Just the fact that he said it is surprising to me. That like I can't think of a league where like
He's
a star
Jamal
player
Murray's also
now.
Canadian, and R.J. Barrett's Canadian, so I thought they
Oh,
played
they
each
have, like, a
other.
kinship
You know what I'm
there.
saying? So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
probably does believe that. Doesn't make him right, but I do think he.
But even
probably
just
thinks
saying it,
that.
whether you're
Yeah.
right or wrong, I'm like, well, I can't think of like, imagine, I mean, Jamal Murray's pretty young, right?
Yeah, 22,
Like
I think, yeah.
a young NFL player being like, I don't know.
That guy, he ain't it.
Right.
Yeah,
All right.
The
I
head name
mean,
in this draft, he's going to suck.
That's the NBA, dude.
I know,
That's why
that's
guys
why
like
that
Barry
guy's awesome.
Makakara can fucking do what he does. All right, so be on the lookout for that.
Also, who do you think is the team that offered
Thursday, 8:20.
Al Horford $100 million?
Who's gonna?
I guess he has been offered.
Is that true, though? I feel like that's just posturing.
I mean, it's the same guy who said that I forget his name.
They're
it's a
saying
Boston
the
Herald.
Celtics offered it.
No.
Oh.
That's why.
That's why he's bouncing.
Horford
Yeah.
was thinking he was going to come back, and then someone was like, "Hey, we'll give you 4 years, $100 million or whatever it was."
There you
Oh,
go.
I didn't expect that. So-
God.
Yeah.
How
You
nice
got
would that
to.
be
Yeah.
if you just didn't understand your worth, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, I am opting out.
Yeah, like you turned down
See
33
you
for
later.
an extra 70. Like
Yeah,
pretty good.
Pretty good deal. By the way, that's probably not going to be a good idea to give Al Horford $100 million. I know he's a solid player, but
At his point, he's like, hey, that's their business, not mine.
Yeah,
Like I'll be
absolutely.
37,
1,000%,
making
man.
bank.
1,000%. All right, that's it. Be on the lookout for mixtape on Thursday night. That's right now.
Goodbye.